Hey team, here's a close look at the Radon vent pipe. It's a 4-inch PVC, it's about 2 lengths or 20 feet, it's perforated so it has little holes and then it stubs up near the wall of the mechanical room. Now it's mandatory to have this in new construction, but it's not mandatory to vent the radon. So radon is radiation that naturally comes from the earth and it builds up in the house from the top down. So it does not pass through the 6 mil poly vapor barrier that we have on the floor, but it can over time if it's in large concentrations. So if it does need vented, they can stub a inline vent tube out the wall and basically pull the air out from under the slab and reduce the amount of radon that comes into the building. So the garage, we're also using this poly 6 mil CGSB vapor barrier, but it's not as important to seal the seams up like we do in the basement because it's not a living quarters. The air is not really breathed in here a whole bunch, and it's just, I don't know. Radon it's a bit of a gimmick. I do believe that it's there, but it just depends on where you live. If you live on a hill, it usually travels through the stone and the rock of the earth. So it's something to think about, but it's basically, they created a whole industry out of thin air, literally. And so we do our best. As you can see here, we are using acoustic seal, which is that black goop venom type stuff that never comes off. And we acoustic seal all the joints and we tuck tape all the pipes. And we just try and make that vapor barrier and that radon barrier as perfectly tight as we can. So if they do have to draw air, they're going to get most of it as they pull it out. So we're using our 2-inch foam here. This is type 2 EPS foam, the R value of 8, which is at the very minimum standard, but you guys, we got to stay competitive here with all these floors. So all it needs to do is prevent the heat from the in-floor penetrating into the ground, and heat rises. So this foam works great. Been using it for many, many years. So we're as far as we can get to in the basement. We've got our lights in, we've got the rebar in, we've got our chairs spread out, and we got some cold weather coming in. This duplex nailer by Milwaukee is awesome because we're going to just hammer up some poly and some tarps and just hoard it in, as they say. And this is going to keep the heat in from the pour. And then we can also bring in a heater. There's a fan there to distribute some of the hot air and get some air moving if we need it. And in the front here, we always do a really good job at building a little tarp that extends out from the garage. And that's just so we have a dry area to work in. We can put our power trowels in there. You know, if it rains and snows, it's not going to be muddy right up to the garage. So it's just a little bit of extra work for us, and it just saves so much time and effort on pour day, especially if you have a late day and you're hanging out and you need somewhere warm to stand, and it's better than being in the cold. Nice little drive home. Have a great weekend, team.